Deadwood had seen its share of devils, but none walked in bold as Silas Mad Dog Crow, the black-bearded claim. Jumper shoved through the batwings of the gem saloon like a storm rolling off the Dakota hills, boots heavy with mud and misdeeds. The lamps flickered as if they knew trouble had arrived. Crow slammed a heavy gold double eagle on the bar, the sound sharp enough to silence the piano mid-note. Men drinking froze. Women serving whiskey stopped mid-step. That coin, everyone knew, wasn't ordinary. It carried the curse from the Black Hills Massacre, where miners vanished without leaving bones. Eliza Kane, the young widow whose claim produced gold so pure it glimmered like sunlight through water, stood clutching her ledger. She wore a worn calico dress, dust on her sleeves from a long day of hauling water to keep her sluice line running. No woman worked a claim alone unless she had grit. But grit wasn't always enough against the likes of Crow. His eyes, yellow like an old Wolf's, fixed on her with feral hunger. You know what this buys, Eliza? He growled. Your claim deed, right here, right now. No, she said, steady but trembling. My husband died for that ground. I won't surrender it to a thief. Crow's chair screeched across the floor as he lunged, grabbing her throat. The room went breathless. Nobody dared challenge him, not after what he'd done to the two prospectors up on Grizzly Ridge. Eliza's boots kicked weakly as he lifted her slightly off her feet, fingertips clawing at his wrist. Then another sound broke the stillness, the soft clink of a coin flipping through the air. A tall stranger stepped from the shadows near the back table. Long duster, road-worn, boots scuffed from too many miles. A Stetson pulled low enough to hide everything but a jaw shaded with dust and old decisions. The coin he flicked landed neatly on his palm, an identical double eagle to Crow's, but its surface was more battered, like it had survived fire and war. That gold's mine, he said, voice even, controlled. Crow laughed, a deep, ugly sound. Stranger, you don't know who you're talking to, but the stranger didn't flinch. He reached slowly for the edge of his coat. Men tensed, hands drifting toward their holsters. Crow's gang, 5 of them, all armed, shifted like wolves preparing to lunge. Then the stranger's coat fell open. A badge hung there, a U.S. Marshal's badge. Weathered, blackened, bent from a bullet strike. And attached to a man everyone believed had been hanged 10 years ago at Fort Laramie for killing soldiers over a rumored stash of gold. Marshal Boone Carver. The ghost with a rope scar around his throat. Eliza's eyes widened. Crow's laughter died. You should be dead, Crow snarled. Been hearing that for a decade, Carver replied, stepping closer. But the devils never collected. A heartbeat passed. Then another, then all hell ripped loose. Crow shoved Eliza aside and reached for his gun. Lamps shattered as bullets tore through the saloon, sending glass raining onto poker tables. Whiskey splashed across the floorboards. Men dove behind barrels and tables. The piano player rolled under his instrument like he'd rehearsed for such a moment his whole life. Carver moved like a ghost through smoke, firing methodically one shot, then another. Crow's men fell where they stood. One crashed onto a card table, scattering aces and blood. Another slammed against the mirror behind the bar, shattering his reflection forever. Crow fired wildly, his shots punching holes into walls and barrels, filling the air with splinters. Elissa dragged herself behind an overturned whiskey crate, coughing through the haze. She could barely see the fight, only flashes Carver's silhouette shifting, like a man wrestling with memories as dark as the room around him. The last of Crow's men screamed before dropping. Then only 2 remained standing, Crow and Carver. Crow's face twisted with rage. This town ain't big enough for both of us. It ain't big enough for dead men walking, Carver answered softly. Crow charged. The 2 men crashed into a table, sending coins and cards flying. They grappled, fists thundering, boots scraping across the alcohol-slick boards. Crow was built like an ox, but Carver fought with the desperation of a man who'd already been to the gallows and clawed his way back. Crow swung a chair, smashing it across Carver's shoulder. Carver reeled, grabbing the fallen cursed coin off the floor to keep his balance. Crow snatched the other identical coin and lunged. Asterisk 2 cursed coins glimmered between them like twin eyes of fate. Asterisk, you want your gold? Crow spat. Then die for it. Asterisk Carver surged forward. Their guns dropped, forgotten. Crow's knife flashed. Carver twisted his wrist, forcing the blade aside. They smashed against the bar, knocking bottles down like falling soldiers. Asterisk Eliza, shaking but determined, grabbed a broken lamp from the floor and hurled it. Burning oil splashed across the boards behind Crow. Flames crawled upward. Licking the walls of the saloon, Crow glanced back. That was his mistake. Asterisk Carver slammed Crow's hand against the bar, forcing the cursed coin to the wood. Crow roared and lashed out, but Carver drove his fist into Crow's jaw, then his throat, then his temple. Asterisk Crow staggered, dizzy. Carver swept the fallen double eagle from his own pocket and held both coins between them. Remember Custer's payroll? Carver said, voice low. The gold you stole when you murdered that cavalry escort? Asterisk Crow's eyes widened, fear cutting through the fury. You weren't supposed to. Asterisk, I was there, Carver whispered. I buried the bodies you left. Crow swung one last time. Carver stepped aside. Asterisk 1 bullet. One pull, one final echo that rattled the bottles on the wall. Asterisk Crow collapsed, the cursed coins rolling from his fingers and settling side by side at Carver's feet. Crow's lifeblood seeped into the cracks of the boards like the saloon itself was drinking it. Asterisk the room smelled of gunpowder. Fear and fire. Carver holstered his gun. Eliza rose, hair wild, throat bruised. Is it over? Asterisk Carver looked at the flames racing along the wall, creeping toward the bar. For Crow, but Deadwood's got its own curses. This town will never be done. Asterisk, what about the coins? She asked. Asterisk Carver picked them up carefully. They gleamed like molten sign. These were part of Custer's lost payroll. Men died for them. Men killed for them. They attract evil. Asterisk he walked to the growing fire, tossed both coins into the burning, whiskey-soaked wood. The flames swallowed them greedily. Asterisk Eliza flinched. Won't that curse you? Asterisk Carver shook his head. The curse ends with the last man standing. Asterisk, the fire roared higher, licking the ceiling. People rushed for the exit, dragging wounded, stumbling into the cool Dakota night. Carver guided Eliza out as the gem saloon erupted behind them. Glowing orange against the dark sky, asterisk outside, the wind cut cold. Snowflakes drifted from the high mountain air, settling on Carver's hat brim. Asterisk Eliza turned to him. Marshal Carver. Why come back? Why now? Asterisk Carver looked to the flames. A man doesn't rest easy with unfinished business. Crow stole gold that wasn't his? Blame me for the murders. Took 10 years of my life. Asterisk Eliza studied him, eyes softening. What will you do now? Asterisk Carver pulled his collar up against the wind. Keep riding. Gold's buried all over these hills along with men who'd kill to claim it. Someone's got to watch the roads. Asterisk, she touched his arm gently. Thank you for saving me. Asterisk, he tipped his hat. Ma'am. Asterisk, as he walked into the night, the burning saloon behind him collapsed in a shower of sparks, lighting his path like a funeral pyre for a past finally laid to rest. Asterisk, but Deadwood whispered through the darkness. Carrying tales of the night, a dead marshal returned to balance the scales with one coin, one bullet, and the truth that refused to stay buried.